what's going on, guys? This is Brandon, your trusted realtor, and I'm coming to you with another great episode. So it's either the end of January or the beginning of February, just depending on how you look at it. But either way you split the hair, it is 1/12 of the year is already down. And what have you done? So for many of us, our lives are full of setting goals, but being faced with that ever-looming fear of procrastination or the ever-looming issue of procrastination and not really progressing towards our goal. But never fear, your trusted realtor is here. I'm here to make sure that you're on track, especially when it comes to your goals related to obtaining a home. The process of obtaining a home is going to include multiple steps and phases, and it's going to require, quite frankly, for you personally to take a level of responsibility and ownership of the process, and I'm here to make sure that you have been accountable as we go forward. So let's take a minute and sit back and see what we've done for the month of January. Mortgage lenders are still going to be the gatekeepers to getting you the money that you need. They're going to be the beginning of the process, whether you want to realize it or not. So many people are afraid to talk to a mortgage lender or build a relationship, but the most powerful piece of the transaction that they can give to you is, even if you don't get that pre-approval, they'll give you the information that you need to know and the steps that you need to take in order to propel you towards getting that pre-approval and getting the money that you need in order to get into a home. Now, one of the big things that your lender is going to be looking at is your debt to income ratio. No one knows better than you how you are spending your money, and I'm sure that when it comes to payday or payday weekend, some of you out there, cars are smoking. That purse or that wallet opens up 1,000 times during the course until you've run down your finances for that particular pay period. But remember, in that process, you should always be taking a few essential steps, like paying yourself every pay period. That is going to be essential to making sure that you stay on track to putting money aside for yourself. Now, you should work towards whatever target, but I always advocate that individuals should put 20% of their total take home towards savings. Now, if you specifically say that I'm in this income bracket or I make this much money per pay period, per week, etc., then maybe 20% is a lot, but you have to start somewhere. So if you start at 5, 10, 15, work your way incrementally up to 20% and even more, so that way you're putting money to the side for those situations. Also, habits. Habits are going to be important on your pathway to ownership. Good habits and financial awareness is really where the shortfall for individuals come. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. There are so many people out there who have not been taught really good financial management strategies. You have to be honest about your own personal upbringing and what you were taught and what you were not taught. And quite frankly, what you were not taught, you're not aware of. So this information that I'm giving you, while it may seem rudimentary, really creates the fundamental building blocks for you to take control of your situation. Money comes and money goes, but what's really important is what happens in between, and what the challenge for so many people is that that's a blur to them. They don't really understand what is taking place in between those transactions, or they're living in the moment, and because of a lack of, if I may say it, discipline, you find yourself in a situation where you look up 6, 7, 8 months later and realize, what progress have I made personally towards my goals, towards my dream? And your debt to income ratio really becomes about you taking control of being able to manage that. And what a perfect segue. Where is saving on your priority? Now, whether we want to accept it or not, savings isn't just about the principle of putting money to the side. It's really about discipline. Not only is it about discipline, but it's about sacrifice. Once you mix those two together, you have the perfect recipe for being able to save money. Discipline and understanding where is it that your money is going, and being able to say, based on my understanding of the habits that I developed in spending money, I am going to break that habit. One of the ways that I advocate for identifying good habits of savings is looking at your bank statement. Print that out. These apps and WAPs and all these other things that are available are only going to be as good as you go into them and update them. I always find that if you print something out and look at them and hold yourself accountable, that is a much more tangible way to ensure that you A, are not going to procrastinate, and B, that you're going to take action. Remember, in a previous video, I mentioned a financial worksheet that I have available for individuals that reach out. And when you do reach out, I'll give that to you. All you have to do is give me an email address so that way I can make sure that you get that directly. Second is taking that, if you don't want to print it out, exporting it into Excel. The priority here is then creating a separate column inside of Excel once you have that information input and itemizing things based on necessities and unnecessary expenses. These necessary expenses and unnecessary expenses will then total up to two amounts. From there, you can begin to look at specifically those unnecessary expenses and then determine, based on that total, reducing that total amount spent on unnecessary expenses by, let's say, 20% for the following month. If you can achieve that goal of reducing unnecessary expenses like going and buying food at gas stations or taking unnecessary trip to eat out at fast food restaurants or buying liquor or lots of wine, and in the case of a lot of people, right? If you can cut down on what you would classify as an unnecessary expense, and each month work to reduce the percentage of that whole sum or that sum amount, then you find that you can then transfer that savings into a savings account and put yourself in a much better position to realize savings immediately. The trick also to that is to put savings away from your primary money. This means have multiple accounts and designate savings for multiple buckets. Remember, when it comes to controlling your finances, that also means designating money for specific purposes. If you're going to allocate money for operational expenses like your housing, electric, utilities, etc., then you should have money or a percentage of your income that's allocated for savings, and maybe even a percentage of distribution of the allocation of that savings. So maybe if you're saving $200, maybe $50 goes into one account for paying down a credit card, so you can pay that in a lump, and the rest of that money goes into an account for saving for a house. However you want to allocate it, or whatever your unique needs are, being able to have multiple accounts aside from, so you can A, not see the money, and B, be able to earn interest on the money. Now, so for me, what I have been able to do is leverage putting money that I don't A, want to save, and B, I don't want to see, into accounts that are online banks like Betterment or M1 Finance. Not that I'm looking to get a link, but referral, but I'll leave a link down below to them. I have found that with M1 Finance, they provide me a 1% return on my savings, and to me, that has been huge to put money there and leave it. And to also be able to diversify money into the account via stocks and portfolios, that's been amazing as well. And for Betterment, if you've not heard of them, I'll leave a link down below in the description, but they currently provide multiple different types of accounts that have different objectives. So whether it's savings for kids, having spending money that's available to the side, or a general savings or checking account, it's a great online tool, and I'm receiving almost 0.5% from the money that I'm leaving in those accounts. So it's really set it and forget it, and it's been an amazing tool to use to help diversify money and to save, and to allow that savings to work for itself. Now, why is saving so important? Well, the reality is, even though the United States gives so much in the way of down payment assistance, and sometimes closing cost assistance, and FHA, which is a loan type that allows you to only have to pay 3.5% of the loan amount versus a higher percentage from 5% upwards to 20% that some lenders or private lenders may require, we are fortunate and blessed to have these programs available to us to allow us to access money. However, it is so important that you realize that nothing is going to be for free, and you're going to have some skin in the game. The days of 100% financing, unless you're using a VA home loan product, or sometimes in certain cases a USDA home loan product, The days of 100% financing are over with. And that means that you're going to have some money in order to cover your closing costs. I always tell people when they ask me, what is going to be my closing cost? Now, your closing cost is set by your title company. The title company is the one who does all of the search. They're also known as a settlement company. They're going to be the ones who perform and conduct the closing of the loan. What I have found, the fees for all of the services they provide usually equate from a percentage standpoint to about 2 to 3% of the loan amount. So on a $400,000 loan, you're looking at about $8,000 if it's 2% that you can expect in closing costs. Then you have what I call your prepaid expenses. These prepaid expenses are going to include your earnest money deposit, which are your good faith upfront funds, and that's going to include your home inspection. Now, we've talked about home inspection before, and the home inspection is a diversity of different types of inspections. If you think about a home inspection, it's a la carte. A home inspection is going to provide you general information about good, bad, and different costs associated with your home, right? But they are not specialists when it comes to your chimney, to your roof, to plumbing. You have to get a specialist. And if you want a specialist for those services, say for example, there's a basement and we discover during the home inspection that there's microbial growth, then you have to have a separate inspection done to test if that is microbial growth and to get the test results. That could be an additional $250 added onto the cost of the home inspection. So the home inspection just looks at mechanical and structural issues and gives you a report of those things and those defects. If you want a deeper dive, you have to get a different type of specialist. So the prepayment or upfront cost for a $400,000 property, that 1% earnest money deposit, plus those assortment of a la carte fees related to the home inspection, is going to be about $6,000. So you're looking at about $14,000 up front for a $400,000 property that you should come to the table with prepared, just in the event that you have to cover all of the closing costs associated with the transaction. Now, the closing costs, again, are going to be separate from the down payment and closing cost assistance, and you'll get it'll be separate from the down payment assistance. And the down payment assistance, if you're in DC, will be DC Open Doors. It will be the HPAP program, the Home Purchase Assistance Program. It will be EHAP, which is the Employees Assistance Housing Program, which is a DC program that helps DC employees get with down payment and closing cost assistance. It will be the Maryland Mortgage Program, which assists individuals who want to live in Maryland and has a suite of programs that are available to you. They have a grant program, a 3% grant program, a 4% grant program, loan program. They have a student loan program, a Smart Buy student loan program that pays out anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 or $40,000 of your student loan balance if you have that outstanding, but you have to buy certain properties that are REO, real estate owned properties, or that exist within a certain brokerage company. You can find that on the Maryland's website. So whatever it is you're using, one of those down payment programs will cover the down payment part, which usually is leveraged with FHA, is 3% or 3.5%. That's the other bucket. Closing costs is the settlement company. That's everyone who's involved in the transaction who gets a piece of the pie. That's taxes, that's insurance, that's your escrow balance, that's your home insurance payment, that's the application fee from the lender. All of those pieces go into the closing costs, right? And you get some credits for that, but you still have to have money to be able to cover that. So it's not 100% free. And think about it like this: you say, man, $15,000, $14,000, that's a lot of money. But it's less than $40,000 and it's less than $60,000. And the reality is down payment and closing cost assistance is going to be a powerful tool to help you realize your dreams. So the question I have for you right now at the end of this video is, what have you done in January to prepare yourself? Think about it. I'm Brandon, your trusted realtor. If you haven't done it already, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, because I look to be your source and your resource for all of your real estate needs. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.